Hello and welcome to Inside Out News, where we go beyond the headlines to uncover the stories, the motives, and the power play behind Nigeria's unfolding events. Today's top story: P2B response to Donald Trump's threat of military intervention in Nigeria. In his reaction, Obi displays a level of restraint, dignity, and strategic perspective that many believe contrasts sharply with the posture of the current government. We'll walk you through exactly what he said and what it tells us about who might be better suited to lead in turbulent times. The US President Donald Trump has stunned many with a blunt warning: unless Nigeria clamps down on attacks against Christians, the US might consider military options, troops on the ground, or airstrikes, and threaten to halt all US aid. His rationale: they are killing record numbers of Christians. We are not going to allow that to happen. Nigeria's government, via its spokesman, rejected the threat as overreach, underlining that Nigeria is a sovereign nation and that any foreign military action will need Nigeria's consent. But in the midst of the noise, one voice stood out for its clarity and composure: Peter Obi. What Obi said in his statement, first published November 3, Peter Obi broke his silence and condemned the situation while calling for sober reflection and urgent action at home. Here are the key extracts with the full import behind them. 1. Recognition of the severity of insecurity. There is no doubt that Nigeria is experiencing an unprecedented level of insecurity with attendant carnage and the most shocking loss of lives and property. Obi is saying what many Nigerians feel: the scale of violence is intolerable. 2. Statistical anchor: over 10,000 people have been killed since May 2023. According to Amnesty International, over 10,000 people have been killed in Nigeria since May 2023. The unwarranted and unprovoked killing of Nigerians is most condemnable, and all efforts must be made to bring it to a stop. By citing a credible source, he avoids vague generalities. He grounds his argument in recognizable facts. 3. A critique of the present government's leadership. While the insecurity did not start with the present government, what is most unfortunate is the lack of competence, commitment, prudent use of resources, patriotism, and passion on the part of APC-led government or leaders to effectively govern. In other words, the problem isn't entirely new, but mismanagement, indifference, and poor execution have made it worse. 4. Call for diplomatic but constructive engagement. As democracies, Nigeria and the US have long been strategic partners committed to regional peace and security. That relationship should not falter. The present situation calls for constructive diplomatic and any other plausible engagement by both nations aimed at addressing the prevailing and disturbing security concerns. Both countries must work in concert. He doesn't reject dialogue or cooperation. He rejects coercion and disrespect. 5. Affirmation of Nigeria's sovereignty. Yet, openness to support implicit in his words is the message. Nigeria must take responsibility, but in partnership, not as a subordinate. He doesn't call for confrontation. He challenges his own nation to step up. What makes Obi's response laudable is maturity and restraint. He doesn't resort to chest thumping or bellicose retorts. He refuses to fall into the trap of reactionary posture with either foreign powers or internal critics. He frames the conversation around governance and leadership rather than external scapegoating. He quietly signals confidence. Yes, Nigeria is under siege, but the solution lies in competence, integrity, and urgency, not in foreign militarism. In contrast, the current government's response has often felt defensive, reactive, or inconsistent, emphasizing sovereignty as a shield without adequately addressing why sovereignty is under threat in the first place. And that contrast is precisely what fuels the argument. Under Obi's brand of leadership, Nigeria would neither invite foreign invasion nor become so weakened that others believe they can impose it. He would have handled insecurity not by purely raw power or showmanship, but by strategy, accountability, institutional strength, information, and community safety. Of course, critics may say Obi is being idealistic. How would he manage powerful armed groups, corruption, decentralization, and international pressure? But the strength of his message is that it isn't hollow idealism. It's a clear roadmap of responsibility, not surrender. Others might argue that any response should be more aggressive, but aggression without vision often leads to further chaos. Peter Obi's response to Trump's threat is more than a political statement. It's a mirror held up to Nigeria's leaders. It shows the difference between a leader who reacts and a leader who reasons. It suggests that security cannot rest on slogans or intimidation. It demands institutional renewal, competence, and moral clarity. If Nigeria had a leader of that caliber today, many believe we would already be turning the tide in this war on insecurity. That's all for today's deep dive. This is Inside Out News. Stay with us. We will have more analysis, interviews, and updates in the days ahead. Good day, and may peace return to our land. Stay tuned for more stories that dig beneath the surface and uncover the truth behind the headlines. We don't just tell the news, we uncover the truth behind it as we break them down. See you again in the next video. Till then, this is Inside Out News. Thanks for watching.